Hello everybody and welcome to this 5th edition of the Alpha X Arena. My name is Econtistas. I'm here casting all the games of this tournament. It's gonna be 2 best of 3 semis into a best of 3 final, and there's gonna be a grand final against the champion of last week's arena. So this time we've been really quick with videos, so we're almost ready to jump into game 1 already. It's gonna be a lot of ZVZ in this tournament. We're gonna have our 4 players, all of them are gonna be Zerged, except for our current champion, who's a Terran. He's Kuku from last week. And the players of the first semi-final will be Summer Lemur and Quotis. So we're ready. They're just chatting a little bit, but I think we can start making the lobby and get into game 1 already. So kind of excited, a lot of ZVZ. Not a matchup that you see quite often in this kind of tournaments. So 2 diamond players, not yet master players in this. Oh, the game mat. Come on, don't do me like that. So for people who don't know, there's a little delay on the stream. It's gonna be a 2 minutes delay, since player actually asked me to put on a delay. Well, it's an in-house tournament, so there's no real need to do so. But since someone asked me to do that, I'm, I just do that. It's player's choice, and it's good to have them satisfied with their choices. Sorry. Okay, I think we're almost ready. Well, just wait a little bit until Summer is completely ready and he's telling his friends which is the stream. I can't wait to jump into the games, actually. I'm really excited. Funny guys today, I guess. And well, ZVZ, new repugnancy. What can I say? Cheesy map, of course. But well, natural and third base on the same high ground. It can be really safe, but it can also be, your players could also be extremely prone to just do something really aggressive early game, so that they do not have to deal with such a defensible position. We're gonna see. I kinda do not know the styles of the players I'm having today, so we're gonna discover them game after game and see what is going on. So we're ready. And let's get into game 1 already. I think I'm going to have to edit a little bit on the banner. I think it's a little bit too low. Let me check real quick. It's gonna be real fast, I promise. Well, it's actually really fitting, so it's okay. Well, I think we're ready to actually get into game 1 of this series. Finally, we're having this ZVZ on New Repugnancy, and in bottom left corner of New Repugnancy we have a red Zerg. His name is Summer Lemure. The top right corner of New Repugnancy we have instead our pink Zerg. His name is Quoris. So a bit of a early hatch for Summer Lemure, probably going for something like, I don't know, maybe a 15-14. It looks like it's gonna be his build of choice. Yeah, Extractor Trick, early hatch. But this is probably gonna be a Limb Flood. Really aggressive and strong build to make at this point of the series. Sorry, since it's the first game, actually it's hard to expect something really aggressive. But well, who knows? Yeah, spawning pool coming really fast. Overload already out. Another overload will be out soon. Those drones are all gonna go into the extractor. Well, at the same time, as you can see, both the pool and the hatchery of Quoris are gonna be a little bit late compared to the ones of Summer Lemure. But it's gonna have a little advantage in lava, a little advantage in early speed, more units, early load. So Limb Flooding is actually a really strong strategy. The only counter to this is actually putting 2 queens on this ramp on all position and just forgo your natural. But, well, even then it's, you know, that's a big loss. It's not something you, oh, actually, I didn't expect this. He's actually delaying speed to get a faster Binley nest. And, well, those links are not yet rallied to Quoris base. Little bit of a supply block over here, but well, I think he is still gonna have to save resources to get speed. So not too much of a big deal. A couple of Zerglings will come a little bit later, but it doesn't look like he's going heavy on Zerglings. Still getting a lot of drones as well. Probably because Quoris actually, well, 2 links get in. Quoris scouted the crit spread of his opponent, and so he knows that actually there are gonna be a lot of early units coming out from that hatchery. Well, 2 safety binlings, an Evo Chamber to get a little bit of a starting wall off, maybe to avoid a scout or to just get into roaches in a safer way. More drones actually coming from the lava of Summer Lemure. So not really that aggressive, but he has got quite a good advantage in both workers and resources, but those are a lot of links. He needs to use those 2 buildings the best he can. Really nicely done walling off over here, but he needs to get the queen in position. He gets it in position, and actually those links are not going to bust through. More buildings are being moved. And Lemire is quite in a good position, already getting +1 ranged, Roach Warren on the way, while at the same time Summer Lemure knows that his opponent is gonna, well, sorry, Quoris knows that his opponent is gonna forgo getting a 3rd hatchery and is getting a 3rd of his own, while at the same time he's gonna start his Roach Warren. So +1 early is gonna be a big advantage. more gas early as well, I think. But, well, tech-wise, Summer Lemieux is gonna be really ahead. He has more gas than his opponent, having skipped the link speed. Maybe not so much, having getting some Banelings and the Baneley Nest. But, well, it's gonna be really hard for him to get a third base, and I don't actually think he wants to get a third base at this point. +1 range started already for Quodis, that is reacting properly to the kind of really thoughtfully built Lemieux is going for. A lot of drones already ahead in workers, as you can see over here. Pretty even on army. Both players really kind of playing it cool, trying to avoid, you know, committing too much. But here we have a lair going on for Summer Lemieux that is gonna be easily scouted by Overlord Speed, and another lair for Quodis. Well, those buildings are not gonna find good hits, just gonna damage this queen a little bit, but it's not a good deal. Right now, Quodis has a lot of roaches and ravagers getting out of his archery, a lot of workers, it's really ahead in economy, and actually Lemieux has to do something, because I don't think rook speed +1/+1 eating faster is gonna be enough for him, since he has only how many roaches? He has 3 roaches against 4 roaches and Ravager, plus links, well 7 roaches now, 8 roaches. Well, he has a good number of units, but well, defender advantage, the scouting, I don't think it's gonna be enough. He now can safely expand and is committing a lot into units, but Quodis has already made 11 roaches to counter this kind of push. I don't know. I think Quodis has got a really big advantage getting that early third Dutch. This queen is gonna get sniped, but his rook speed is gonna kick in a little bit quicker, so he doesn't really have to, you know. Ooh, this is a bad engagement for Summer. If you decide to commit under this ramp, Ravagers are gonna try to shoo away those roaches, and those are a lot of roaches, I guess not so many. He decided to withdraw with a good amount of roaches, not having lost any. Rook speed kicked in, but now he needs to make something happen. His workers' disadvantage is really something. So he gets a little bit of a scout of Quodis' army. He knows he's gonna be probably ahead in upgrades really soon, but well, it's something. But he needs to get those Ravagers with the Banelings, otherwise I don't think it's gonna be enough of an army right now. Good quick spread by Lemieux, but the workers' advantage and larva advantage has started to kick in really cool. Oh, that's a nice decision to try and change this game. So a little bit of a link run by, but roaches are here well positioned. A little bit of a nasty move, an alarming up to. But I don't think this is gonna deal some real good damage. Three drones have died, but the real choice of Lemieux here is the tech, is the Lurkaden. While at the same time, we have here tunneling close for roaches and an infestation pit to get hive tech probably, and try to get, well, I don't know what his decision is. Well, maybe he's trying to get only infestors or vipers, but well, he decides to engage over here. That's a big army against a not so big one. Ravagers are really doing some work with those biles. Drones have been pulled, not a really good dodge on the biles. He tries to actually dive onto those roaches, and he gets away knowing that Quodis gets away knowing that he has done a lot of damage actually, but the army of Summer is not really good at this moment. He needs to get those lurkers out to try and shoo away those Ravagers and roaches. Good bites over here are gonna hit on the Ravagers, sniping them. Some Hydras fall down, the upgrades are trying to deal some work, and the bites are gonna miss from Summer Lemieux. A lot of roaches coming for Quodis are probably gonna bust through this. Defender's advantage as his best. 17 drones, 19 drones, 21 drones have died with a really good link run by here from Cordis. And this has been a really good and controlled game by the Pink Zerg that has got a really good advantage on Workers and Lava, and it's just died through his opponent. So, next map is gonna be chosen by Samuel Lemieux. He's having a little bit of problems, I think, and he's gonna restart the game. He's gonna be right back soon. It's not a big problem. So we've seen a pretty quick game. Nothing too really long going on. Game ended before Lurkers and Vipers could come into discussion. But well, I really don't know what to expect from game 2, since that really aggressive build by Samuel Lemieux has not got pretty much anything, since he didn't commit to a real push. Those spine crawlers by Cordis probably scared him away, but well, at that point you're so much behind that you have to do something, and he tried to commit with roaches, but the lava advantage from Cordis was probably too much for him to handle. So Samuel Lemieux was forced to GG out of the game and try to... Well, he tried to get Lurkers, but he didn't get on time, and he was forced to GG out of the game. And now we're gonna wait a little bit for him to come back. Oh, he's back. And it's his choice for the next map. And it's gonna be either Port Alexander or Kings Cove. Two really different maps. So we're talking about a really standard map, bit on the short side as Port Alexander is. Really good for some lanes, some... Oh, he's chosen Port, so... Well, yeah. Port Alexander. It used to be one of my favorite maps, actually, for ZVZ, since you can make a lot of things happen in such a short map in the early game, and there are really good sieging positions for Lurkers. But well, that gets into play way later than I expect this game to go, since I've already seen some really aggressive builds from both those players, and I think one of them is gonna get this game before Lurkers actually come into play. And we're getting into game 2 of this first semi-final of the day. Well, ZVZ is a really hard matchup, and well, it has a ton of different builds that can come into play, and I'm not expecting any standard game today actually. I'd be really surprised if both players started with a standard 17 arch. Well, I see both making a drone first, so well, probably I'm getting already surprised by those two players. And instead I'm not. Instantly a second drone for Samuel Lemieux, and he's probably gonna go for an extractor trick, while at the same time Cordis goes for a really standard overload then drone. So yes, this is a hatch first, a 14 hatch for Samuel, and he's gonna probably do an extractor trick, then make a real extractor and get a spawning pool to try and get a faster link speed. And well, maybe Banes, I don't know. More lava, more gas, more tech. That's the point of this build, getting everything a little bit faster while being on a little bit worse economy. At the same time, Quordis is really trusting of his standard build, not really going for anything too hard. He trusts his scouting capabilities as well. He's gonna see that these hatcheries creep is gonna go a little bit further than his one. So fast spawning pool, those 3 drones are gonna go into gas probably, or probably not, we'll see. This one is definitely going into gas, I think. Yes, he is. And he gets 2 drones instead of 3 actually, manning gas. So maybe we're gonna see something similar to the first game. We're gonna see an early Baneling nest and not link speed. It's gonna probably skip link speed, and this hatch first was probably just to get more crit spread. Yeah, it's pretty standard as far as I'm concerned. Joining on while getting 2 packs of links, so 4 links and 2 queens. Everything looks a little bit faster, but it's gonna be a little bit behind on workers and on income nonetheless. Still no link speed. A Baneling nest. That's a pretty defensive decision. So Banelings are really good defensive units, of course, especially on those high ground ramps. And he's back to droning. He actually doesn't want to lose his advantage in tech and tries to get more drones out as fast as he can, actually getting a worker advantage over here. So overall, this build, more tech, more workers. Link speed skipped, but well, if he's going for rushes, he's not gonna need link speed probably, unless you wanna go for some link run-bys. So those links are gonna escort the drone to a 3rd base location, and at the same time, Samuel Lemieux is not going for a 3rd hatch of his own. It kinda didn't work in the first game. It could work on Port Alexander, since it's a little bit shorter of a map. Evo chamber here, and he's probably gonna make a wall real soon as well. So link speed has actually kicked in for Quordis and is midway for Lemieux, but he already has Banes defending his position, and he's probably gonna get a 3rd base of his own once actually his 2nd base is saturated and the attack of Quordis is over. Oh, he gets a Bane. Not a really good trade for Quordis right now. This link is gonna get a full scout of his opponent base, and he's gonna see the Roach Warren is just midway through, while the Roach Warren from Quordis has almost finished, as well as his 3rd hatchery. All the speed on the way as well. Good injects, well, here is a missed inject, but well, not a big deal, honestly. So Samuel Lemieux is just gonna try to make something happen with his equal army, hoping his opponent doesn't have Banelings at the ready yet. But well, 6 more links and 5 Banelings on the way for Quordis, and these Banelings need a good hit over here, and he loses 2 Banelings without really dealing a lot of damage over here. More Banelings on the way, but the army of Quordis is a little bit stronger of the one by Samuel Lemieux, that is trying to take up behind it, getting +1 ranged, getting some more links to defend his position, and at the same way, ooh, this was a really nice Baneling hit. Got a lot of links actually. The army of Samuel Lemieux looks way scarier than it did some minutes ago. Roaches are gonna come up first for Quordis, but at the same time Lemieux is actually joining a lot behind this, getting a 3rd hatchery. Bit of an equal spot over here. the roaches are probably gonna force Summer Lemur away. Not a good Baneling hit over here, but more Banelings are actually here on standby. It's getting 2 Evo Chambers, and at the same time Summer Lemur is getting a lair, and Roach Speed is already on the way for Cordis. So roaches are gonna defend this position, while at the same time Summer Lemur is trying to snap this queen. And he's probably gonna go really close, but a really good micro by Cordis saves the queen. Oh, maybe not. And it's gonna be so close. 12 HPs on this queen, while at the same time a little bit of a counter attack over here. He's trying to get some damage done on workers, and he only gets one. Too bad. Not a really great Baneling hit. 15 more workers on the way for Cordis. That is already a quite good army. But at the same time, these are a lot of roaches by Summer Lemur that just has got the better engages in this second game of this semi-final. Good engages, bad economy. He wants to all in right now. He's getting Hydroden behind this. His second base is not really saturated, while at the same time the one from Cordis is way oversaturated. Army supply is getting really closer right now, with the Ravagers coming into play, sniping some Overlords. And this Overseer is actually gonna get a full scout, stealing a little bit of fear maybe into Summer Lemur. When you see an Overseer in ZVZ, you instantly think of an Idus, but that's not what's coming into play right now. So I actually think that Cordis, yeah, he scouted the Hydroden. I thought he was in the mate base, but he was in his natural. He scouts the Hydroden, and meanwhile tunneling close and Burrow for Cordis that doesn't really want to get on Hydrotech. He's probably gonna go for a big push, skip Hydroden and get Infestors for the Hydras. At the same time, well, it's a little bit of a copy from game 1, to be honest. Better army, better lava for Cordis, while at the same time the Lurker then is on the way for Summer Lemur, and he wants to get those Hydras out and try to deal some damage, but those are a lot of roaches and a lot of Ravagers. +2/+2 for both players. +2 Caravas actually on the way for Cordis, but +1 Caravas is gonna be over really soon for Lemur. These Hydras actually scout the army, and this is a good position. He needs to dodge those barrels, and he does this pretty good. Good split over here, forcing the opponent to stay behind, and now he tries to get a little bit of a concave. Bad bias by Cordis, a little bit wasted, and more Ravagers on the way to try and counter those Hydras. So I think Lemur needs those Lurkers right now before Cordis can actually deal some damage with Link Ground Bias. And well, this is a good engagement by Summer Lemur, but those are a lot of lanes that can get easily into his bases, while at the same time he can't really deal with those many buyers without having Lurkers, and those lanes are actually gonna slip by, while at the same time Cordis is just gonna dive into his opponent's base, army, sorry. Yeah, the army of Cordis is actually destroying the army of Summer Lemur thanks to his really good buyers, and at the same time those are a lot of lanes getting into mineral lines. Here some roaches are getting some job done onto the links, but at the same time in the main base a lot of drones are falling down, and Cordis just withdraws knowing he has dealt way enough damage. Tunneling close roaches are trying to get into the natural probably of Cordis, or Summer Lemur, sorry, while at the same time Summer Lemur really needs to get some roaches into this archery if he doesn't want to lose more drones. 16 drones have died, and the worker disadvantage is really massive right now. So roaches are trying to deal more damage over here. The Lurkers are probably gonna defend this position if he has to get back with those units and fight next to his Lurkers. Those roaches over here are getting more and more drones, and the economy of Summer Lemure is actually plummeting. The tech advantage is something really good. Lurkers really wreck Roaches, but the Overseer is getting into position, and Quodis knows where the Lurkers are and can get those really nasty bites hit. Hydra Tech for Quodis too, while he has a lot of supply more of Summer Lemure, getting more and more drones over here, and at the same time trying to fight the main army over here. The last Lurker is still alive, and Summer Lemure calls the GG. Even though he has those Lurkers at the ready, it's not gonna be enough. Really good run bys. Titan and Close Roaches have done the trick for Quodis, that has just dealt too much damage to the economy of his opponent, and Quodis is gonna get into finals. It's gonna be our first finalist. So we're waiting actually on to our second player of the second semi-final to come. What is this? I had to get out of this chat, sorry. Okay. So, next semi-final is gonna be TRD against Nuke. So I'm just gonna message TRD really quick. A little bit of chit chat here between our Summer Lemure and Quodis about CVZ. Really good build overall, solid build by Quodis, really getting into a nice defensible spot. So, where are my other two semifinalists? So we're gonna give 10 minutes to TRD to get into the semi-final. Since I already won the players, we were ready to start. If that's the case, Nuke is gonna get a walkover and it's gonna get straight into finals against Quodis. It's gonna be another ZVZ, and then the winner is gonna face Cuckoo in the best of 5 finals. So that second game on Port Alexander, quite similar to the first game. So it's gonna be, antagonist is gonna be another semi-final best of 3, then a final best of 3, and then there's gonna be a grand final best of 5. The winner of the finals gets to play against the winner of last week's arena. And it's gonna be a best of 5 losers pick. just no bans. Well, every player bans until there's one map remaining, and then it's gonna be loser's pick for all the other maps. And I'm just gonna wait some more minutes for TRD to come. If he doesn't come, I'm just gonna give Nuke the walkover. So we have Diamond players and some Masters players as well. MMR ranges between 4.1k to actually like 4.6, I think. I think our current champion is something to the lines of he's 4.6, a little bit less. So it's gonna be really even gains, most likely. And while we're waiting for TRD to come, I just want to analyze a little bit the build that Summer Lemurus done last game. So getting that fast of an archery is trying to get a love advantage. If you get a love advantage and you actually foregoing economy, it's a good idea to just not take up behind it, just rely on gas, on minerals, and go for a big lane flood. That's the nature of 15-14, and mixing 15-14 and 13-12 can work if you get a really fast link speed and you just don't put drones out of gas and get mainliness soon after. You stay on one base, the other base is just purely for lava, and at that point you can probably skip the queen until much later in the game, and then you actually get two. So it kinda becomes a 13-12 a little bit delayed, but a little bit stronger in the way that reinforcements are gonna come in really quickly and really big numbers. So if you actually get a queen, or if you get an archery, it's basically game over for the opponent, since you're gonna just get a lot of links and a lot of bane links through the map. So good micro also helps a lot in a Roach Ravager's battle. Getting good splits, good concaves, getting into good positions, and especially dodging the biles and getting actually biles, doing biles that are hard to dodge. It's something really, really important. Just waiting another little bit, another 5 minutes for TRD to come, since it doesn't look like he's arriving really soon. Well, is he online? He is not. He is actually not. Well. Just gonna wait a little bit more, but I don't think we're gonna have our semi-final. We're just gonna get into finals with Nuke versus Quodis. So I'll notice Quodis as well. I'll just wait a little bit more, just a couple minutes. But I think I should just get Nuke and Quodis ready. Quotes with the good jokes. But well, I think we're waiting. We've waited more than enough for TRD to come. We waited 15 minutes and it didn't come at all. What the players before the tournament started, way before the tournament started, to get ready at 7 p.m. Who was gonna play first and who was gonna play second. So I'm just gonna give Nuke the walkover and get into veto phase. For the finals and grand finals, the veto phase will be a little bit different than what we had before. It's gonna be 6 bans total, and sorry, I was getting a little bit distracted. Well, I'll explain the players as well. So videos are different for finals and grand finals. 3 videos each, then you play on the remaining map, then it's loser's pick. So loser's pick is gonna be any map, and well, quote is banned first. So we're gonna see what what our first map is gonna be. Is again with the good jokes. So Kairos is the first map banned or vetoed. Automaton is the second. So 2 of the most standard maps, to be completely honest. Both had very nasty tank locations, but in ZVZ, those are really good standard maps. Saber, a short map, out of the conversation as well. Short and, well, a really good map for ZVZ, a map that allows for a lot of different builds. New Repugnancy, another short map, and Port, another standard map. So that leaves us with EO0 and Kingsco, the 2 biggest maps in the pool. With EO0 being the biggest of all, actually. And it's been banned, so it's gonna be King's Cove. Oh, I was eager to watch the ZVZ on King's Cove. A big map, good for mutas. Well, I really don't know what to expect from this first map, but I'm probably gonna see an Nidus. And our players are ready, we're starting, we're getting into the finals. King's Cove. Really good looking map as well. I really like the looks of it, but well, playing on it, it's a whole different matter. It's the fastest loading ever, with tense music coming straight away, sorry. And here we are on King's Cove, and in the bottom right corner of this really big map we have our orange Zerg. His name is Nuke. Oh, not really centered, I'll do it again. Yeah, that's better. Instead, in the top left corner of Year Zero, going for a standard build as well, we have our pink Zerg. His name is Quoris. "17 hatch for both. Timing is pretty much identical. Nuke has got this a little bit sooner, but it's a matter of seconds. It can be a difference in ZVZ, but well, those 3 seconds of idle time are just nothing too important, to be quite honest. The difference of builds, of engagements, and overall macro are gonna be what really matters. So here we have a little bit late pull coming from Quoris, while Nuke has gone for a much faster one. So this is gonna be probably Wolof, I don't know. So he's not getting a pull yet. This is really weird, actually. It's something I've never seen, getting gas and not getting a pull. The pull is needed for every single type of tech that can come out of a Zerg. So there's simply no way you can skip the spawning pool. And this spawning pool is not gonna even be midway through when the one from Nuke is gonna finish. So it really needs to get... Oh, that's for getting a faster third base. It's a bit of a risky strategy. So 6 links for Nuke, so a little bit more aggressive, already sent through the map. I don't really know about this. Nuke actually sees that there are no queens in production right now, because no queens are in production. And he already gets a Banelin Nest. Link speed is midway through, while the spawning pool of Quoris just finished. And those links, well, a Spine Crawler for Quoris here. He's probably gonna get this one to his third base. But, well, he has no way to stop those links right now. And that is not what you want to happen. They're gonna get 3 kills on drones. The first drone already dies, while those links actually get to some work. This actually is not gonna fall, it's gonna finish way sooner than those links are actually gonna do something. The Spankers got cancelled since he has links out right now, and I don't think Nuke can actually deny his third base. Overall, putting Quoris in not such a bad spot. He's really in a good spot, to be honest. Well, he has no Banelin Nest, but well, Nuke has got a lot of links, Spain links, way before Quoris can actually do anything. And well, speed links getting into mineral lines are something. So those 4 Bane links are actually gonna shoo away the links quite easier. And the first Bane doesn't get a lot of damage. Good split by Quoris. While at the same time Nukes try to get in with more links, and this is something really hard for actually Quoris to manage. Not a good Banelin shot on those eggs, but the Queen is gonna fall, the Spine Crawler is gonna fall, and the Archery is gonna fall as well. Really good damage dealt by Nuke at this point, with more links coming on the way. Well, actually it's droning behind this. A brave decision, a really economic decision. Quoris really enough is deciding not to fight in his main base. 2 drones die to the Banelin hit, and a lot of links are actually gonna start to shoo away the links coming from the base of Nuke, but damage has already been dealt. Huge worker disadvantage, 10 workers less for Quoris, a base behind Not a good tech with the Roach Warren already coming for Nuke and some saturation already coming for his third base. And more links actually sent through the way to get some scouting and try to deny this archery even further. A good army by Cordis is actually gonna show away this, but well, he needs to stay on the defensive for the whole game right now. So Cordis actually actively chasing those lanes, while Nuke is trying to get probably some scouting information with a good juke. Roach Warren on the way for Cordis as well, but well, this is a problem for Cordis. This is a quite fast layer. He's gonna get faster rush speed, faster upgrades, and overall faster tech, while staying on a much healthier economy, while Cordis has yet to saturate his natural base. A lot of drones on the way for Cordis, but the army of Nuke is starting to get pretty scary. Those orange roaches actually look really nice. They look like bees. Well, changelings are not what you want to actually detonate your banelings on, but well, let's take a scout. Scouting the lair, he probably knows that there are roaches on the way as well. And well, he sees that some drones are actually starting to work on those mineral patches. A spine collar for safety dropped next to the third base, and suddenly Cordis has a worker advantage, but the army supply is just mind-blowingly bigger for Nuke. This is on 72 army supply to 14. He sees the Ravagers, and probably Cordis right now knows that he's in big troubles. Overall speed is probably not what you want in this situation. You want to get your roaches pumped up faster, you want less drones on gas and more drones on minerals, but well, he's well saturated. And he actually wants to make a lot of spine crawlers right now and just forget to defend his third archery, because these are a lot of roaches and a lot of Ravagers. I don't think there is any way Cordis can defend this, and he actually just GG's out of this game. He knows that army is far too scary for him to deal with. So it's gonna be loser's pick for next map. Port Alexander is the map of choice of Cordis. A map that is really different from Kingsgrove. I'd say it's probably the opposite of Kingsgrove. The only thing that's mildly similar is the big presence of high ground and overall a good defending position. And we're getting into game 2 of this series. I even forgot to put on the overlay, so that was just the banner on everything for the whole duration of the lobby. But well, that's not a problem since we got into such a fast game 2 of this series on Port Alexander. So I'm expecting something pretty standard to come out of those two players, and they both go for a drone first. Well, let's do the introduction first though. Here, in the top left corner of Port Alexander, we have a pink Zerg coming from France, is Cordis. In the bottom right corner of the same Port Alexander is our orange Zerg. His name is Nuke. Both going again for a 17 hatch. Probably the most standard thing you can do. Actually, some players like to get a 16 hatch to get a little bit of coordination between the spawning pool and the hatchery, but well, that's not really that important, to be honest. You can get your 20 drone working faster if you want to make a 19 drone at all. So spawning pool on the way for Nuke and spawning pool on the way for Quodius. No shenanigans, it seems like. Both, as you can see in the production tab, both players are going for the absolute standard. Really similar builds overall. Really smaller advantage for Nuke that has less idle time, so he's been a little bit more sharper with its build. But I repeated what I said in the game before, that's not really something that comes truly into play unless it's a huge difference in idle time. And that's not what you have here. 7 seconds are not such a... 7 in-game seconds are not such a big thing. The 16s are coming a little bit faster for Nuke, while Quodius is actually getting some drones first. Well, that's a brave decision, you know, not getting your 4 scouting links or 6 scouting links. It's brave, to say the least. But he wants to go for a faster hatch, for a 30 hatch, without having links at the ready. I don't really know about that. Building nest on the way for Nuke as well. 4 links here on the way. They're gonna seed the other 4 links, and it's just gonna be a link fight, and Quodius has got the better advantage overall. Good micro by Nuke that saves both his Zerglings with 2 HPs, while at the same time the other 2 Zerglings here in the natural of Quodius have died. So a little bit of a worker advantage. At the same time, Nuke is going for Banelings. He knows that he doesn't actually need to get too much ahead on units. Well, on workers, sorry. Well, 12 Zerglings are a lot of Zerglings. He knows he has a faster Baneling nest, but that's a little bit brave. So 2 Banelings morphing here, and more links are on the way, while Quodius decides to get a little bit of a scout of his opponent base. A worker advantage is something that is gonna give a little bit of a boost to Quodius, that has more army right now with those 24 links coming out soon. And the Queen is gonna get sniped though. There's no way Quodius can defend this position, and he's probably gonna forgo the archery as well while waiting for his links to come out, and that's a lot of links. He gets onto the Banelings, forcing his opponent to get not quite optimal hits, but well, those are indeed fast Banelings that get some hits done. Good trade with the Banelings, but at the same time not a good trade with the links, and some good micro by Nuke actually wastes many of those Banelings. More links on the way, and more Banelings on the way as well, while Quodius is forced on just 2 bases lava production. So the Banes actually are trying to get some good trades, but well, more and more links are dying. Not a good Baneling hit overall. Defender advantage is trying to do some work, but that's a lot of Banelings actually coming into Quodius links. A lot of links just with 1 Baneling. The Queen is gonna fall as well, and Nuke is just going for the mineral line, getting only 4 drones, but those links are just gonna wreck Quodius' army. The GG has been called and Nukes gets into Grand Finals. So we're gonna have a ZVT in our Grand Finals. We're gonna wait for Kuku to actually finish his custom. I'd actually much prefer for him to just leave it, since he knew he was gonna play soon, but it's okay. Well, we have our two players. Kuku is asking for 2 minutes before getting into Vito phase. Vito is gonna be the same as this last final. Is gonna be all the players are just gonna ban until just one map remains, and then at that point we just gonna go for losers pick for all the remaining maps necessary to get it over with the series. It's gonna be a best of 5. The winners get the prize, and it's gonna play next week as well, trying to defend his crown in a way. So I just got the news that Nib has just beaten Maru. That's something. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect Maru to perform not so good in Katowice. He looked quite sharp in WCS actually. And well, in a way he didn't actually perform really badly in BlizzCon. He just went for those crazy build against SOS in the round of 8. Well, those are rough times for Maru. He needs to shake it up in WCS. So we're ready to get into Vito phase. So Kuku already told me he's got a lot of builds for this matchup, but I'm quite excited. So apparently Cuckoo is having some problem with his PC. Hope he goes better. Since I'd really like to have at least these finals and not having to crown our champion out of a walkover. Even though actually Nuke played it really good, he just played it 2 matches. And that will be really too bad. Since actually last week we had such a nice tournament with good games, players really giving an headache to each other. Even though the scores didn't say that, all the matches were actually pretty close. Especially the grand finals with Primetime versus Cuckoo. They were close, they were really close. And Primetime actually got close to winning in a couple situations, but Cuckoo's Stevie Z has been such incredibly sharp and, well, clever in a way that then Primetime just couldn't handle the proxies and the kind of aggressive plays that Cuckoo put into play. So music as always is getting really tense in the most inappropriate moments. I don't know why StarCraft is going wild on this downtime right now. But I really want to know what is happening actually right now in Katowice. If everyone from the chat knows how the Group B is going, I'd be really happy to hear about it from you. So a little bit concerned about Cuckoo. I like to know that his computer is going actually good and that we can play this grand finals, sorry, because I'm really eager to get to see some StarCraft, some action. It's probably gonna be quite a fast tournament compared to the others we had. Last week's tournament lasted almost 3.5 hours, while this one is probably gonna be over in about, I think, an hour or something like this. Hoping that we can get into our grand finals. Well, I think something is actually wrong because he's not even answering. I'll just... Okay. It looks like he... Oh, I think it's okay. Oh, right. Nice. Okay, so Automaton is gonna be the first map vetoed by Cuckoo. Now it's Nuke's turn. Doesn't really like neuropregnancy. He vetoed it twice in a row. Now it's on Cuckoo again. Okay, so Kairos, the most standard map in the pool probably, is gonna be out as well. I'd really like to see at least one game on Kairos. Not really fun map to play on, but it's a good map to watch games on, since it's really balanced. So E0. E0. Okay, so last ban from Cuckoo is gonna be King's Cove. It's really hard to explain how this works, but it's the most balanced way to actually veto. Well, I'll let it explain to Nuke. Yeah, exactly. That's the most simple way to explain it. Yeah, exactly. From second game onwards, all maps are open again, and you can repick. Okay, Cyber Forest is gonna be the last ban by Cuckoo. Now Nuke's ban, and I think he's probably gonna ban Kairos, since it's the map that Cuckoo wanted to play on, and that is gonna leave us with Port Alexander. Okay, so we're gonna play on Kairos. Well, at least my desire to watch a game on Kairos Junction has been accommodated by those two players. So as I was saying, Kairos Junction is really balanced for every race, to be quite honest. And we're already getting into game one of this series. It's been a little bit of a long wait to get into these grand finals, but we're ready to get our first game of the series. Excited to watch a little bit of StarCraft between those two good players. This is the first time Nuke takes part in this tournament, while Cuckoo is already a 2 times champion of this. So we're gonna see if Nuke proves to be a strong opponent, or if Cuckoo is gonna get another victory in the Alpha X Arena, proving himself to be the 5 times Alpha X Arena, or just the 2 times Alpha X Arena he already is. So here we have Cuckoo in the bottom right corner. In the top left corner of Kairos Junction, we have the red Zerg. His name is Nuke. So 16 hatch for Nuke. With the spray over here. Just want to get close to it. A really nice touch by a red Zerg. And he's getting a 16 hatch and he's droning to get the extractor, as we can see, and the spawning pool behind his mineral lines, actually, to prevent a little bit of damage possible to the Reaper. And Cook is probably going for the Reaper since he's got an early gas. The barracks is on the way. Another SCV scout over here, while Nuke decides to make his overload dance all over the bunker just built by Cuckoo. He's trying to force an overreaction by his opponent, but well, he just pulls one drone and then cancel it. Like, it wasn't even a pull. He's just getting a third base. Super fast economy based build by Nuke. Quite similar to the Clash opening, but a little bit less economy wise. He didn't pull drones out of gas. It's a bit of a weird build, but well, gotta trust those higher rank players. Here the Reaper is getting into the main. The spawning pool is gonna be ready on time. Lings are coming out just now, and he already knew the Reaper was coming from that direction. He's probably not gonna save this link, or probably, yeah, he cannot save that link. But the Queen is gonna be out soon. He has to pull the drones away, and he gets a good save with the Spore Crawler and shoots away the Reaper without getting any major damage, just an overall 43 mineral loss, as you can see over there. After the bunker cancel is not something too important, while the Reaper stays on the prowl, trying to get some damage done and scouting done in the near future. Orbital command going on, so 1-1-1 build, 1 barracks, 1 factory and 1 starport. But it looks like probably Cuckoo wants to go for a mech build, to be completely honest. He's probably, well, not, actually he's not gonna swap the starport and the barracks. He's just gonna get a Viking to deny vision from the red Zerg, and he's gonna get concussive shells on the way as well. At the same time, Nuke's going for some quick spread, overload speed to get some scouting done, but the Viking is probably gonna deny pretty much everything. He can scout. Good positioning on this overload, and he actually sees the tech lab researching concussive shells. Well, probably he doesn't know it's concussive shells, but he actually scouts what's going on in Cuckoo's base. He's probably going to expect well, vision is gonna get denied. He's probably going to expect a marine steam and tanks, well, not tanks, sorry, widow mines kind of push with those aliens trying to deal some damage as well. While instead it's probably gonna be Hellbats and Marauders. Well, a bold decision. Bailey Nest on the way. Not the best against Hellbats and not the best against Hellbats and Marauders. I think that actually Nuke didn't scout the Marauders. Not the armory, if I may say so myself. Let's check. Yeah, he scouted the armory, so he knows there's a big push coming on right now. Lots of queens here to try and deny this. This queen is gonna get sniped, sadly. The Viking lands, and those Marauders with concussive shells are trying to deal some damage. Good transfusers. At the same time, those buildings get some really good hits on the Hellbats. Really well done by Nuke that defends this like a pro. Really shooing away all of Nuke's army. The Blue Tyrant basically has got nothing left. What a defense by Nuke that was so ready for this push. Queens in exceptional positioning and really good Banelink hits to just deny the opponent timing attack. Lings are getting into position to scout for a third base. They see the command center going on, trying to get a little bit of a delay, and he manages to get a delay on the command center. Nuke's looking really sharp in this first 6 minutes of this game. At the same time, the Cloak Banshee transition for Kuku could deal some mind-blowing damage. Larry's on the way, but I don't see any Overseers coming really soon. A lot of Queens are all here, so if he actually gets into the main of Nuke with those Cloak Banshees, he can deal some serious damage. A good overlord is gonna get sent into Nuke's base. He sees the Factory in the Tech Lab and he sees the Banshee as well. Yeah, he sees the Banshee, the Cloak Banshees going into his base, and he's already getting Spore Crawlers into his main. A Spire going on as well. I don't know. Spire against double Factory with Tech Lab? Huh. That is something against those aliens. But well, just check what those two Banshees are going to do. They get away, not a lot of energy on both cloaking and decloaking a bit too many times. At the same time, Centrifugal Hooks, +1 melee and +1 Carapace going on for Nuke, that is just trying to get his advantage even more straight. No Burrow on these Zerglings, but it's gonna be enough to delay a little bit of this command center. Good quick spread, Banshees are not dealing damage. And this is so close for the Overseer to actually get some vision, but he can't scout a lot. He scouts this Tech Lab researching and he sees the two toes coming out of those factories. So he knows he can't go for Mutas and he can easily go for Hydras. So aliens are actually gonna shoo away those links, but this wasn't a lot of commitment for Nuke. That is instead getting his 4th base behind. Spore Crawlers on the way, and actually it is Mutas. He probably thinks that those doors are just a distraction, but actually is trying to do some damage with a toe drop, and he's getting tanks behind actually, so only 3 toes. Who knows, maybe Nuke has done the right read all along, and those Mutas are just gonna try and deal damage to the mineral lines of Kuku that leaves quite wisely a 4 behind so that he can actually shoot those Mutas away, and at the same time the drop is coming. Nuke sees it just now, and immediately the boost on the Medivacs. Foes are in huge payload mode, so they're not gonna deal damage to Mutas overall. They need to switch into the other mode. Some drones have died at the same time to these Banshees due to some poor positioning on the Spore Crawlers. A lot of drones have died to these Banshees. Look at it, 7 kills each. That's a lot of drone kills. And the 4 is going down as well. Overall, losses are quite even in this match. And at the same time, Kuku has to get another of his incredibly clever transitions to deal with those infestors that are certainly gonna come. Hive on the way as well. Well, this is gonna be a really close game. 66 workers to 66. The income is pretty much identical right now, like with Muse giving a small boost to Kuku's economy. But the army, oh man. Those are a lot of tanks, a lot of aliens, a lot of Vikings, and a lot of foes. But, well, infestors are quite cool at dealing with all of this. I don't see an Hydra, but I see a greater spy, and it's gonna be Broodlords, Corruptors, Queens, and Infestors 100%. A lot of cities die to this good Zergling run by Nuke, and probably most of the damage has been done by friendly fire with the tanks. That's something that can happen easily. in CVT, while at the same time Nuke is getting a 5th base, and it's really, really close to Nuke's 3rd one. That's a brave base positioning, but a lot of queens. Actually, how many queens are those? 10 queens for Nuke. Infestus on the way of... Ooh, and the... probably he scouted the Infestus by a really, really close margin. So the transition is good for Nuke. The army supply is not so good instead. Adrenal Glands and... Well, what is this? Plus 3 Carapace and plus 2 melee. Already plus 3 on Carapace, that's something. Really good against tanks. Adrenal Glands almost over and the Great Aspire is just finished. How many of those Corruptors are just gonna become Broodlords? Well, not yet any, it seems. Another run by over here, but the Planetary Fortress is just gonna shoo away. At the same time, another run by on the Orbital Command at the 3rd base location. Some SCVs are gonna die, but at the same time, this is a big engagement by Cuckoo. A lot of queens are just gonna transfuse each other, barely saving those queens, and the first queen actually dies. But a lot of Adrenal Glands links, those are not yet Adrenal Glands, but queens are just gonna transfuse each other. He's a bit of an off mule, not really in a good position. He wanted to repair the stance and he actually got it a little bit too far away. At the same time, 7 drones, 7 SCVs died, and this tank is gonna get sniped, but Adrenal Glands not yet done, 6 Broodlords. And I think that probably Cuckoo has lost a little bit too much of army supply in the push. Too many foes have died, and those are the really good answer to those Broodlords. Look at the crit spread, meanwhile by Nuke. What a solid game the Zerg player has played until well, what is this upgrade? I really don't like it. +1 attack on Broodlords, not so good. I much prefer to have seen Carapace upgrade to deal with those huge Predators. But this is a scary army by a red Zerg. He can easily deal with those Vikings, he can easily deal with those stores. Tanks are gonna fall. Infestors are probably gonna come into play as well. What are those Infestors? Actually, Infestors have died and even realize. Sorry about that. So he needs those Corruptors to get into position, but this many Broodlords and this many Adrenal Gland links, Corruptors are getting onto the tanks, but a little bit too close to the tools, and that's not what Nuke wants to do. Foes are really in a good position to deal with the Broodlords. They're not getting focus fire on them, and he calls the GG. Overall, a really solid game by Nuke. Some positioning errors by Cuckoo, but those run-bys, those queens positioning, really well done by a Zerg player that has earned an early lead into these grand finals. So this arcade chat it's really bothering me, to be honest. So Port Alexander is gonna be our second map. Really quick decision by Cuckoo on playing on Port. Another pretty standard map. I'd say Port Alexander and Kairos Junction are probably the most balanced map of the lot right now. But, well, I don't know. Some good tank positions can really get the job done on this map. So overall a really clever pick by Cuckoo. A lot of proxy locations as well, locations in which you can hide a maybe a starport or some tech. And we are ready to get into game 2 of this series. Here in the top left corner of Port Alexander we have our blue Terran. His name is Cuckoo, trying to get a tie on the grand finals and try to defend his crown as well. Here instead, in the bottom right corner, we have our red Zerg. His name is Nuke. So, what do we have here? Extractor first, the build of favor of Cuckoo. He's gonna get a barracks now, and he's gonna get an early Reaper. Well, at the same time, Nuke goes for a super early Arch. 15 Arch, it looks like. And, well, he's probably gonna get an Extractor and a pool next. Nothing too big, nothing too different. Those two players have both tried to do something pretty much standard instead for that time and attack by Cuckoo. But overall, Nuke seems to like his standard games. So Cuckoo is trying to fake a little bit of something, trying to get a reaction by the red Zerg and deny an early third as well, with this SCV patrolling on the third base location of this opponent. And the drone is just gonna go the other way. So Nuke actually uses the 19th drone to get his third archery, and this just delays the queens a little bit, and that's pretty much it. He's gonna get a queen on the main actually, not in the natural, to defend those drones. And as soon as he has this gas, he's probably gonna get a queen as well in his natural. So that's something that's not really as optimal as the clash opening, since you get the same exact result while having an overload coming out at right at this time and queens almost gone as well, both queens. But well, it's not everyone's cups of tea, of course. It's not a good build against cheeses, so he likes to get for a bit of more of a standard opening, even though the clash opening is probably going to become standard for ZVT quite soon. So Cuckoo's going for probably a 2-1-1. No, it's a 1-1-1. Probably this barracks is going to make a tech club and he's going to try again one of his shenanigans to actually deal some damage, and here it is, the tech club by Cuckoo. This player is known to be really aggressive and trying to get some damage done in the first 6 minutes of the game with some kind of timing attack. So the Lings of Nuke are actually actively scouting for some proxy. They're not gonna find anything, it's just probably 4 aliens coming at him really soon. A Viking is coming out, so this is actually not gonna be a Banshee play yet. Lair on the way for Nuke, and I still do not see Baneley Nest nor Roach Warren. He's probably gonna try to get a scout first with his overlord speed. He sees the fusion core. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Forces have encountered the enemy.
This is so bad for him. This is so bad for him. I can't believe he didn't scout this. So the Starpot gets into the tech lab. What a fake by Nuke. Incredible. His decision making is... Oh, but this overload is gonna scout it just right. He sees the fusion core and immediately decides to go for some more queens. And he's probably gonna get down Hydroden really soon. And lots of spores as well. He knows an alien push is gonna come, and the first battle cruiser is on the way for Cuckoo. Nidus Network is the choice of Nuke. He just wants to send all of those links into his opponent's base while getting more and more queens on the way. Already 6 queens. That's a lot of them deciding to skip both the Baneley Nest and the Roach Warren, and it's proven to be the best decision possible for Nuke. This is a lot of aliens though that are gonna actually move out. So he's probably gonna try deny this. The Overlord is still in position, while Cuckoo does not see the Overlord. He still thinks he's gonna do this unscouted, and here he comes the Nidus. And a lot of, well, the Hellbats actually get into position to deal with it. A little bit of a block here. They are in position to deal with it. But the Queens already got out. Some transfuses on the Nidus. And all the Queens get out. And this is such a proactive, aggressive play by Cuckoo. By Nuke, sorry. Spore Chorus are trying to get moved in the base of Cuckoo as well. Not many SCVs dying, a lot of Zerglings dying instead. Getting those repairs on the battle cruiser is proving to be such a big deal, and Cuckoo has done an incredible amount of damage just by defending this Nidus network. The Spore Core is gonna get focused by the battle cruiser while more repairs are going on this battle cruiser. At the same time, gas is being mined and minerals are being mined. I think the Nuke is forced to retreat and more Queens actually come out. Almost all the aliens have died, just 2 more are alive. The Vikings are trying to deal with all those Queens. Another Queen dies, 2 more aliens on the way. These repairs on the battle cruiser have been clutch. A Yamato cannon on the Nidus. Nidus is gonna get destroyed. And another Nidus being created by Nuke with the vision of the Queen. But not so many things home yet to try and send to the other side of the map. Overall, such a costly effort for Nuke that there's no Queens right now and just a lot of lanes trying to spread some creep to keep the Spore Quarters alive. 3 SCVs died. And still, it seems like it's not enough, but this battle cruiser is getting really low. But more repair and a good position in the battle cruiser is just gonna fall. What a great Nidus by Nuke. I can't believe he actually has done it. This has been a really crazy game by both those players. What an incredible hold by Cuckoo that felt just at the last second with a bit of miss micro on the SCV's repair. Incredibly done, well done by the Zerg player. So our third map is gonna be Cyber Forest with Nuke leading 2-0, trying to get a total sweep on Cuckoo, on our champion, with such a solid playstyle. Lots of Queens. And we're getting into game 3. Can't wait to see what's gonna happen. This last game was so close, so clutch. Really good performance by both players. An amazing hold by Cuckoo that has gone for an aggressive build with its battle cruisers. And we're just gonna see what's gonna happen now. So we're into game 3 of this finals, and Cuckoo is already going for a cheeky proxy, I think. So in the top left corner of Cyber Forest we have our blue Terran. His name is Cuckoo. 2 SCVs, 3 SCVs on the way. This is gonna be a free Rex. Ho ho ho. What do we have here? A pull first by Nuke. Well, this is a Ravager all-in against a free Rex proxy. Guys, we got a game. We really got a game. In the bottom right corner of Cyber Forest we have Nuke, a Red Zerg. Coming from Germany, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. So here is the proxy location. But this is such an early pool. I think you're gonna see the Roach Warren soon as well. Probably this drone. Or not. Come on, Nuke. Let me see. Yes. Yes, the Roach Warren, the Ravager all in. Fun fact, I taught this build to Nuke's girlfriend and she taught this build to him. And this is such a deadly build. But against the 4 racks proxy, I don't really know. Where is this game going on? Supply depot as well to avoid the supply block with all those marines coming out at the same time, and it's probably gonna try to make a bunker outside of Cuckoo's base. And it's probably gonna be too late, but well, Roaches are really good against marines without medivacs. And the bunker against Ravagers, well, that's just gonna be useless. It's gonna be close. He sees there is... Oh ho ho. And I'm just checking the map, wanted to see. Yeah, he knows. He now knows. One Roach is gonna fall, but Ravagers are in position. So this is such a weird situation. And a good snipe on the SCV, good bites as well. While the Marines have to dodge those biles without having steam pack. That's titanic feat to do, especially on creep. But these are a lot of Marines, 10 Marines. Overload on the way from Nuke, and he's just gonna pump a lot of Roaches out right now. And another overload probably shortly as well. He needs a queen right now. Not so good biles right now, but those are his saving factor. A big SCV pool over here. Yeah, Cuckoo is all in. That's scary to deal with. Not a lot of Roaches, but the Spine Crawler is on the way as well. He's probably gonna have to pull his drones as well. Not a good time to move for Ravager. He needs to defend this. He gets into a good position. But the Spine Crawler falls, he pulls the drones. And a lot of civilians and drones dying. A lot of Roaches pop out at this right time. While the he bites his own drones. A Ravager has fallen. A lot of Roaches are trying to get the deal with. The last Ravager is probably gonna fall, and it doesn't fall. Cuckoo has nothing left. The GG has been called, and Nuke is our new champion after a really incredible game. This game was really insane. And the game before this was really good as well. I think this is the best grand finals we ever had in this tournament. This has been really funny. 2 great players in 3 really close games as well. The second game, I still can't believe Nuke actually won that game. This 4-Rax proxy against Ravager Lean, really weird as well. And that first game with that powerful timing barely held by Nuke with good bending hits and good Queen's positioning. Overall, I think our Red Zerg deserved his champion role. And well, what a series, what a tournament. Nuke winning all of the games, and he's gonna get crowned our champion after 2 times Cuckoo. Really wants to get his little bit of revenge in the next tournament. He's already telling me to save him a spot for the next time, and I think I'm gonna let him. Actually, I really want to see more games out of those 2 guys. Both really fun to cast and both really fun to watch. What was this last game? I still have time to actually understand what happened in this game. Well, this is all for today, and can't wait to do the 6th edition of the arena. This has been really good. I'm really having fun casting those players, having those games. Really happy for you to watch me and for players to decide to play in my tournament, and looking forward to see what those guys can do. I'm Econtistas, streaming on the Alpha X second channel. You can join us if you want to. You can join our Discord. You can follow me on Twitch. My account is twitch.tv/Econtistas. You can read my name, how it's written. I know it's difficult, but it's just written over there. And well, see you next time in the next edition of the arena. Bye guys, thank you for watching.